Very few people enjoy doing paperwork, especially when it comes to the mortgage pre-approval and application process. Today we're going to try to simplify that for you and give you an explanation of what's actually needed and when. Hi all, I'm Chris Henwood with North Point Bank and welcome to the Henwood Edge. Okay, so today we're going to discuss mortgage documentation. There's a lot of paperwork that's involved, like we said, but let's try to make it as simple as possible for you. When you're going through the pre-approval process at the beginning or your beginning of your mortgage application, there's a few key elements we're going to need to get started to make sure we can get a good picture of what your financial situation looks like. First item we're going to need is your photo ID, usually a driver's license or a passport, or if you are a green card holder, a copy of your green card, or if you're here in the United States on a visa, your L1, L2, or H1B visas, or any other one that you might be here on, those would also be needed as well. In addition, we're going to need your pay stubs for the past 30 days. So if you're paid weekly, that'd be 4 paychecks, and bi-weekly 2, obviously, and bi-monthly 2 as well, but we'll need a copy of those. Bank statements. Last 2 full months of all of your statements. That includes your checking, savings, investment, stock, retirement accounts. The more assets we can show and show that you're ready and prepared to close on the property that you want to get pre-approved for, the better it is. And with those bank statements, it's very, very important. We don't need just the first page. We need all of the pages. And if your bank's like my bank, they'll have sometimes, pages that say this page left blank intentionally. We need those ones too. So if it says 1 of 9, make sure we have all 9 pages for each statement. All right. And then we'll need the federal tax returns for the past 2 years. All the pages, all the schedules included, just kind of like the bank statements. We'll need that information, and in support of that, we'll need copies of your W-2s, your 1099s, K-1s, and any other documents along those lines that you receive that show the income that you've received over the year. We'll need those as well. So that's kind of how you just get started. Now, if you happen to be a self-employed person, self-employed people need a little bit more documentation due to the nature of their employment situation. So what we would need is your federal business tax returns for the past 2 years. Now, if you, that's if you're an LLC or or any sort of S1 corporation or any other kind of corporate structure, we would need that. If you do a Schedule C where you show your self-employed income, that's fine. We wouldn't need the business tax returns. We would also need a year-to-date profit and loss statement. Now, this doesn't go into the calculation for qualification, but what it does is it establishes that your business is continuing to be profitable on an ongoing basis. So it's just a confirmation piece of information. Also, we may request the business license and/or any formation documents for your LLC or corporate structure. This can establish the date when you started being self-employed, or it may just establish the legitimacy of your unemployed situation. That's a possible piece of information that may be required. Now, there are also some special circumstances. Like we've talked about, everyone's unique, everyone's different, people have different circumstances. One of which might be if you're divorced or separated. We may need your divorce or separation agreement with all the pages included, and make sure that it shows any sort of alimony or child support payments that you will be either making or receiving as a result. So if that's your situation, we'll need that. Also, if you've had a bankruptcy, foreclosure, significant credit event in the past, it'll have to be greater than 2 years' time for most products. We would need your foreclosure, bankruptcy documentation. Again, all the pages included, every piece of that, in order for our underwriters to be able to review that documentation. It's very, very important. Okay, moving right along. Once you get into process, your offer's been accepted, things are moving forward, you're in process with your mortgage application, we'll need a copy of the actual purchase contract and any addenda that are created down the road, changing that contract as well. We'll also need deposit information. Part of every purchase contract is you making a deposit on the property you're buying. That money comes out of your account, goes to either the attorney or settlement agent. We'll need to see a track record of that money coming out of your account, going into where it ultimately winds up. So that's something that will be requested. You'll need to get homeowners insurance on your new home. Can't have your new house without having it insured. So we'll need the documentation that shows your home ownership, the amount of coverage, make sure it all works with what we require. And underwriters will always reserve the right to request additional documentation required by our underwriting department. Sometimes things come up, like I said, everyone's unique. Certain things need more documentation. Certain situations require more documentation than others. And this fits right in with our regular motto that we've been having here, which is that there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all mortgage or situation. So everyone's unique, everyone's circumstances are different, so it may require a little bit more or a little bit less documentation depending on that. But at the end of the day, the most important thing to do is give me a call or shoot me a text. My phone number is right there, and my other contact information, including my email address, will be at the end of this video as well. As always, remember to leave your comments below, and feel free to give me a call with any questions, any issues, or to explore this topic further. Thanks for watching the Henwood Edge. We'll see you next time.
This is not a commitment to lend. All loans are subject to credit review and approval. Not all loan programs are available in all states. Contact a North Point Bank loan officer for further details.